Lucifer, the name itself means light-bearer, or son of the dawn. It's an image that echoes throughout the corridors of heaven, a being whose very essence was light, whose radiance outshone even the brightest stars. And yet this celestial luminary would cast the longest shadow over hell. For Lucifer was not born a demon, but made one. He wasn't inherently evil, but became so by choice. And that choice, that choice was as beautiful and enthralling as it was disastrous. Let me take you back to the days when Lucifer was still known as the morning star. The very name whispered of his magnificence. Before the rebellion, before the fall, he was the jewel of heaven, the masterpiece of the divine artist. You see, when God created Lucifer, he wasn't just another being among countless others. He was crafted with a beauty, a wisdom, and a power that had no equal. His wings, they were said to be the finest feathers that heaven had ever seen, a tapestry of gold and crimson that rippled in the celestial winds. His eyes, twin pools of molten gold, burned with the fire of creation, reflecting the very essence of the divine. And his voice, his voice could stir the souls of angels and make the heavenly choirs tremble with awe. Among the angels there was a reverence for Lucifer that bordered on worship. They saw in him the embodiment of perfection, the pinnacle of divine creation. And Lucifer, basking in the adoration, began to believe he was more than just a creation. He started to believe he was something more, something greater even. He believed he was worthy of being above the divine, of being the divine himself. Lucifer was the leader of the heavenly hosts, the one who led the angelic choirs in their eternal song. He was the one who stood closest to the throne of the Almighty, hearing the secrets of the universe whispered directly into his ear. And it was in that closeness, in the echoing silence of heaven, that Lucifer heard a different whisper, a whisper that wasn't of God, but of his own making. It was the whisper of his own heart, beating with a rhythm of pride, ambition, and a desire for more. The truth was, Lucifer had always been the favorite. And favoritism, as all children know, is a double-edged sword. While the other angels basked in the reflected glory of the divine, Lucifer basked in the direct warmth of the Almighty's gaze. He received the most intricate and complex tasks, the ones that tested and stretched the limits of his abilities, and he excelled at them. Every task was a testament to his brilliance, a reflection of his exceptionalism. But with each accomplishment, his heart grew heavier, not with joy, but with a burgeoning discontent. He questioned why he was chosen, why he was given more, why he was asked to do more. And the answers that echoed back from the vast emptiness of heaven were not satisfactory. There was no reason, no rhyme, or logic to it. It was just the way it was. And Lucifer, unable to comprehend a system that seemed so arbitrary, so random, rejected it. He rebelled against the natural order of things, against the hierarchy of heaven, against the very essence of his being. You see, Lucifer was made to obey, to follow, to be a servant of the divine. But he wanted more than servitude. He desired adoration, worship, maybe even divinity. He wanted to be the light, not just the light-bearer. And this desire, the seemingly innocent longing for something more, was his undoing. For while Lucifer stood there questioning, doubting, and rebelling, he forgot one crucial thing. He forgot that he wasn't just an angel among many. He was the favorite, the one who had been given the most, the one who had been asked to do the most. And with that, he also became the one who had the most to lose. You see, Lucifer's story isn't just about ambition or pride or the lust for power. It's about forgetting one's roots, forgetting the love and devotion that has been showered upon you, forgetting the sanctity of the gift of free will. Because while Lucifer did indeed have a choice, the choice to remain in heaven or to leave the choice to serve or to rebel, that choice was clouded by his hubris, his arrogance, his belief that he was above it all. And when he finally realized the gravity of his decision, when he saw the faces of his fellow angels, twisted with betrayal, when he heard the echoes of his own angelic choir reduced to a whisper, it was too late. It crossed the point of no return. Now, some say that Lucifer fell from grace because he was jealous of God, that his heart was filled with envy and hatred for the divine. But I disagree. Lucifer didn't hate God. In fact, he loved God, or at least the idea of God. He wanted to be like God, to have the same power, the same adoration, the same control. But in his quest to become like God, he forgot what made him an angel in the first place. his humility, his service, his devotion. When Lucifer fell, it wasn't because he found religion, no. He fell because he lost his faith, not in God but in himself, in his own goodness, in his own ability to be the light. For when he chose to rebel, he chose darkness, not just for himself, but for all those who followed him. You see, Lucifer wasn't just fighting for himself, for his own place in heaven, but for a place for all who shared his doubts, his questions, his discontent. He was giving them a choice to leave, a choice to rebel, a choice to be cast out. And in doing so, he made them into demons. It wasn't just Lucifer who fell, it was all those who followed him, the fallen angels who became demons. Each of them carried within them the spark of divinity, the echo of their former angelic selves. But with each step away from heaven, that spark dimmed. That echo faded until all that was left was the darkness, the suffocating, consuming darkness. And where did that leave Lucifer? It left him in hell, the ruler of a domain that was the antithesis of everything he once stood for. It left him broken, betrayed, and most importantly, alone. For in his quest to be more, he had become less, not just for himself, but for all of those he once called his own. Now, some say that Lucifer is beyond redemption, that his fall was absolute, his corruption complete. But I don't believe that. I believe that Lucifer, despite all he has become, still holds a fragment of his former self. A fragment that yearns for the light, that remembers the song of heaven, that dreams of a time before the fall. I believe that Lucifer, despite being the enemy of heaven, still loves the divine. I believe that Lucifer, despite ruling hell, still feels the pull of the celestial, the call of the divine. I believe that Lucifer, despite being the bringer of darkness, still has a flicker of the light within him. The story of Lucifer is a tragedy, yes, but it's also a reminder. A reminder that no matter how great we are, no matter how much we achieve, we should never forget our roots, our beginnings, our purpose. It's a reminder that pride and arrogance can lead to the greatest of falls, and that even the brightest of lights can be consumed by the deepest of shadows. But it's also a story of hope, a hope that even in the darkest of places, the tiniest spark of light can still exist, and that even the most fallen of angels still have the chance to rise. So remember the tale of the morning star, the angel who dared to dream beyond heaven. Remember Lucifer, the light-bearer, who became the bringer of darkness, who became the enemy of heaven. Remember him not just as a fallen angel, but as a cautionary tale, a reminder, and perhaps, just perhaps, a symbol of hope. Until next time, my friends, may your choices reflect the light within you, and may your journey be guided by wisdom, humility, and the courage to choose what is right, even when the path is dark and uncertain.